message. I have a question for you. It's regarding the people who are seeking for the work, the meditation or the techniques for self development. I know there are two kinds of practices, two kinds of work. One is translative, and another one is transformative. Um, what are the real differences between the translative or transformative work? Um, which ones are better, or is there any fundamental difference on both practices?
Cut. Roll.
So, what are the fundamental differences between a translative and a transformative work?
In my understanding, Siddharth, translative work is like how translation is done.
Mhm.
You cannot understand the language, but when you translate it, you can understand the new language.
Mhm.
But you cannot understand the meaning. Only the language is understandable, meaning is not understandable. In the same way, when we do some practices, you see, our body can change, our agility can change, our way of working can change, our fitness can change. But we can remain the same person, but with better fitness. So that is translation. But when transformation comes, we are an altogether new person, because transformation is the inner work of the person. His calmness changes, his anger changes, his way of looking towards the world changes, his relationship with people whom he knows and even whom he does not know changes. His relationship with the people whom he knows and even where he does not know, those whom he does not know, changes. His way of working changes. He is more calm, more robust, less disturbed. In effect, he is not the same person. Like, for example, a householder becomes a monk. It's not translation, it's a transformation.
Correct.
Because something in him changes in such a way that he completely removes your hair, changes his dress. It's not easy.
Right.
You and me cannot do it tomorrow. But something has happened to that person that has changed his inner landscape. That is transformative. Yes. So translation is good for living well, but transformation is for living a changed life, a new life, a new kind of being, new kind of person. There, your potential, who you can be, not who you are, those possibilities change.
Right.
This for transformative work is very important, and essentially transformative work comes from inner work.
Right.
One has to work with his inner self. He has to understand who he is, what are his shortcomings, what are his difficulties honestly, and he has to be interested in changing them. Then he can do different practices. Maybe he can do meditations of a different kind, one kind or another kind. He can read different materials.
Right.
He can meet different people that affect his inner self.
Right.
And that is the beginning of transformation.
Right.
So transformative work is a fundamental change. and cannot be compared to translative.
Correct. Yep.
He has to understand what are his shortcomings, what are his inner resistances, and he has to be interested in changing them so that he becomes a new man. He has to peep inside himself. He has to know his shortcomings. He has to be authentic in understanding them. And he has to be interested in changing them so that he can become a new man, not the old version.
Correct. All right. So what I'm trying to get from it, that a translative work is a linear work. It gets you from A to B, and a transformative work is a vertical. It totally changes your composition.
Yes.
So basically, a translative work is where, yes, there might be some improvements using those practices, and you might get some benefits out of it. But essentially, your inner core, or you being as a person, that person's remain the same.
Exactly.
Correct? Like, for example, if a person says, I want to be healthy or fit, he goes to a gym for a couple of months or 6 months. He might get some muscles, which is good, better. But if that person is having anger, or if this person, the life is not happy, that's not going to change.
Or he is going to be, or he is selfish.
Right.
Or self-centered.
Or if he's selfish or so it won't change the inner quality, the inner core. But it might be a little beneficial because there's an improvement there that, okay, he got some health benefits over there going to a gym. But essentially the person remains the same. And whereas what I understood from you, a transformative work, you leave behind what you were. There's no point A to point B. There's point A and then there's different point at all. There's nothing linearity about it.
So vertical is qualitative
Right.
change, and horizontal is progressive change.
Right.
Quality changes the man, quality of the man himself.
Right.
So horizontal dimension is progressive. Vertical dimension is qualitative.
Right.
It changes the quality of the man. He is no longer the same man. He is a new man.
Correct.
And that is transformational work.
Yep.